All right, champion. So here's what we've got at our disposal in terms of mics. I'm away on holidays at mum and dad's place, so I didn't bring any mics or anything with me at all because I was planning on just not doing anything tech. But you know me, champions, I couldn't keep out of it. So anyway, we've got a generic dynamic mic there, a SM58 ripoff that we've had forever, and no actual part number on there or anything, but I think it was like a yoga brand or one of those generic brands. All it says is cardioid dynamic microphone. It's got an on and off switch there. So you can see there you've got a little SM58-esque frequency response there with a little presence peak or two presence peaks. It looks like one centered around 4K, the other one centered around, say, 8K, and showing your bass boost from the proximity effect there as you get closer to the target, as is the case with all cardioid mics. Our other choice here is the Behringer ECM8000. This is used as a like a measurement mic for loudspeaker management systems, or Dad uses it for testing his hi-fi speakers when he makes a change. He's building an active crossover and refining that, as well as the boxes themselves. So he'll use that with Arta, which is a software package to take frequency response of phase difference measurements, that kind of thing. So it's supposed to be as flat as possible in a omnidirectional format, and you can see there's no re-events on the capsule there, so that would indeed be an omni mic. However, on the frequency response there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that the proximity effect doesn't apply to mics with the omnidirectional pattern. However, clearly it's showing there that it does. So I'm not sure if this graph is off, and also if it's a measurement mic, why have you got like a, I don't know, looks like a 7 dB boost in the top end there? That doesn't make sense. You'd think you'd want it as flat as possible, but anyway, maybe Arta has built-in frequency compensation for this particular mic. I'm not sure. We're going to test out both of them. I'll show you how dramatic the difference is by just moving the mic a little bit, and particularly when you're close miking, it can be very misleading if you think an amp sounds a certain way, but then it sounds nothing like that in the room, and you move that mic half an inch and it sounds like a completely different amp, completely different speaker. So we're constantly at mercy of trying to recreate perceptibly the sound that we're hearing when we're standing next to the cabinet, but then be able to mic that up reliably and repeatedly to at least give you as close as possible idea of what the amps sound like when you're standing next to them. So that's a constant challenge in this industry and in the review industry, that kind of thing, as well as recording itself. So I'll compare the two mics. I'll show you the dramatic difference between changing the angle and how on or off axis it is, and we'll go from there. We'll find whether we want to use this or the dynamic. At the moment I'm leaning more towards the dynamic because it's a little bit of a roll off on the top end, which you'd expect, and that's taken a bit of a harshness off the top end. This is sort of picking up a bit of fizziness in the top end that you're not really hearing when you're standing up and taking in the whole flame from the speaker, I guess you could say. So I think I'm leaning towards this because it sounds more realistic to what's in the room, plus a little bit of a proximity effect helps give a bit of a bass boost to our chug-a-lugs, which is always fun. Now here's the setup, which at first glance looks janky as all frig, but it's actually really good for repeated sort of accurate mic movements. So you've got your handle down here, so you're not manipulating the mic to move it around itself. So it's real easy to keep the vertical angle correct, and you can just back off the little preload there and easily just rotate it in one axis only, which is super handy. Obviously, to move it in and out of the speaker's axis, you've got to actually pick up the stand and move it, but that's always the case. But you can just set this little handle here and get it nice and level and on axis or off axis, whatever you want to do. Generally, vertically, what I like to do is have it on the same axis, perfectly aligned vertically with the center of the pole piece in the speaker. And that way, there's less in the equation. You're varying the angle and the position in this plane. But if you're off axis a bit, then it just complicates everything. So it's good to have it, in my experience, on axis vertically, and then play with the angle until you get the mic nice and level with this handle, and then you can easily just change your angle there, angle of the dangle, and move it laterally to be on or off axis. So that's what we'll do. Now the cabinet itself, long story, basically a PV Transfex Pro got dropped off, and it was like, it looked like it had been rained on, flood damage. The whole thing was rusted and it just wasn't worth repairing. So the customer abandoned it. However, the cabinet itself, so it's like the chassis was removed from the cabinet because the cabinet was in good condition. And Dad only had this other 2x12 X hi-fi thing down here with some roller speakers in it, but we needed something with a bit of juice, bit of power to it. This has just got the standard PV speakers there. What are they? 1230 Sheffield Turbo. I don't know, but I think they're 75 watt a pop. Big magnets on the bastards. Look at them. Huge. A little bit of a harsh sounding speaker, but sort of in the vein of the Celestion G12T75, and obviously open back. We did put a piece of MDF on the back there, just clamped it in place to see what the sound difference was, but it just gave a big boost at about 250 hertz, which was somewhat unpleasant. So we just went back to open back, and it's fine for taking these measurements. When we're on holidays, you got to piss with the cock you got, champions. So here's the amp. We've got the recording interface up the top, ready to do a couple of little sound samples.